Right at it. Right at it. Oh, he's done it again. Just as he did at the John Deere for his first win.
Welcome to episode 193 of the Go Get That podcast, and welcome to PGA Championship Week. We're going to talk some Truist Championship. Screw the PGA. No, we'll be back Wednesday night probably to do a live preview for the PGA, but we are here to talk the Truist Championship. Dan and I, no Bob tonight. I believe Bob's on a plane heading back to the West Coast. But yeah, it's we're gonna talk some Truist, talk some Jordan Spieth. I got a lot to get off my chest after a feeble, I believe it was a T52.
T2, yes.
Yeah, T52 for Spieth. No bueno. Was not a good week in really any regard besides the big stick, which is probably the only positive of the week. Very ugly week at a golf course where it's been very ugly over the course of his career, if you exclude the President's Cup. Yeah, but we're going to chat it up. I'm excited. I got some stuff to get off my chest, some frustration. I'm going to vent, and I'm happy to have Dan here to listen to me. Kidding. Dan's going to share his thoughts as well. But
No, I'm excited to be here. I didn't get to watch as much as I wanted to this week, but I guess that's a good
lucky
thing.
you.
I did see Saturday, which was fine. Um, I'm excited to get into it. Excited to hear your thoughts. I think based on kind of some things we've been discussing and obviously seeing things on Twitter, I think I feel probably more, I don't know if optimistic is the right word, but maybe more positive about how things are than most. So we'll see. We'll hash it out, and obviously, not that we're gonna come to the same conclusion by the end, but that's what this is about, is kind of just talking shop. So big week ahead, obviously, and would have been nice to get things kickstarted at the Truist a little bit. I think what's interesting about it is there were a lot of guys that, like, it wasn't the leaderboard you expected. Um, Raitan winning, he's been playing well. Fowler finally had a pop week, and you could make the case he probably could have won that tournament, maybe should have won that tournament. Um, but a good week for him nonetheless. Alex Fitzpatrick continues to play well. Uh, so kind of an interesting leaderboard, and one that you would have hoped a guy like Spieth would have been able to, like, kind of get in the mix in. I think you put that name up there, and even though it's lost a lot of staying power and a lot of kind of overall oomph maybe on the top of the leaderboard, I think it would have jumbled some things up a little bit, but we were multiple touchdowns away from that. So not even worth really discussing. But I'm curious where you want to start. And I'll kind of play off that from there, assuming we'll go straight to the Texan here.
We're going straight to the Texan, and yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I think I texted you. I put it in chat. I'm declaring the season over. I hate to go full Bob. I think I've seen enough to declare it at this point. Yeah, it pains me to say it, and that's not to say that he cannot T8 at the Open or have his best finish come after this, but the ultimate goal is to win a golf tournament, and I just don't know, sitting here on May 11th, Monday night, recording this, if I think he can do it this year. That's where I'm declaring the season over. We're still going to do the podcast, obviously. I'm still going to do my Instagram account, obviously. I don't know, Dan. I don't know. It seems every week is the same at this point. He's now lost approach in three straight. And he's just not a player who, when it gets off, can fix it quickly. And it's the most frustrating thing I think about him. The T11s and the T12s obviously sucked, but it's like I just want him to be that consistent player with something, and there's just nothing there. And it's interesting. We talked tonight, Monday, May 11th, after he already spoke with the media at Aronimink today, and seemed confident. I love to hear that. Obviously, when I'm confident over pessimistic, it's fair to ask: is he trying to keep himself confident and make excuses for a lack of results? Because you hear guys get off like Rory and Scotty, and I know Jordan's not in that class of player, but they get off or they have a bad week and they rebound with something really, really good. And I just don't know. I'm kind of down in the dumps. We'll obviously talk a lot of PGA on Wednesday night, probably a little bit tonight. Obviously, I don't know how you don't have anything more than minimal expectations for the PGA. But yeah, just I'm frustrated, Dan. I'm pissed off, ticked off. Um, Not discouraged, I don't think, but just like the sucks type of deal.
Yeah. It truly is a lot of the same. But very much like the way the round unfolds feels the same every time. There's no capitalization of momentum, but how the momentum is not capitalized upon is different every time. Saturday was a great example. I think, let's see, hit a really nice bunker shot on six, missed a 5 footer. There were a lot of short misses this week, by the way. So I know Mills, believe he gained strokes for the week, but I wasn't really impressed with the putting, especially
He
inside of 10
lost.
feet. Oh, really? Okay, that's fitting. And he should have lost by more. Uh, but then come back on seven and jar a 65 footer, and it's like, all right, you get it back to 2 under at the time, play the eighth hole really well, miss a 4 footer. It's like, all right, middle of the fairway on nine, downwind, out of the left. Nine's not a hole that you're necessarily hoping to make birdie on, but when you've got 7 iron in your hand, you're not trying to flare it into the front bunker and then leave the bunker shot short. Make bogey there, and you're looking at an opportunity to play the front and 3 under, potentially even 4 under if everything went to plan, but play it in 1 under, and then you get to the back, play it in 2 under, which is a solid back nine, but same kind of thing. Missed a chance to save some momentum on 16 after he'd gotten it to 3 under on the back. So, um, just killer momentum. The putter wasn't good inside of 10 feet again. The approach play, I mean, it's I'm not gonna say it's lost, I think, but maybe this is where some of my um positivity is a little bit more noticeable because I don't think he's that far off. I know the results look bad, but I think I'd almost rather it be this bad than like fine and have it, or have it be average. Like I want there to be, it's got to be pretty blaringly off to make a change and make a fix, which he's shown to be willing to adjust a little bit more this year than he has in years past. Talk about the driver in a little bit once you get more of your rant away. But yeah, no, I hear you. A lot of the same old, and probably should have been. I think we were talking as a 50-50. If it's a full field, I think he misses the cut. If it's like a 80% full field, like 120, it's probably close, maybe right on the number if he gets lucky, but um certainly just not good enough by any means. And like you said, a lot of the same, even though the result was worse at T52, it felt like any of the T18s that he's had earlier this year. It felt the same. So not really sure how you know how that happens week in, week out, where it's just always something different, leading to the same feeling of oh, Spieth played golf and he left 12 shots out there for the week. Or I mean, this week was just poor, but it's you do it a lot and it gets frustrating for sure.
Yeah, I mean, like I don't want to be negative, but it's hard not to be after a T52 and yeah, two of his three worst performances of the year came in three of our last events. Valero was terrible, which was what? Oh, well, Valero was before the Masters, so maybe I'm off, but I apologize for my poor numbers and counting. But the Heritage wasn't good, Truist wasn't good, Valero wasn't good. So three of the last five have not been very good. And the approach plays lost in three straight now. Like I thought that was going to be the buoy. And it's like, we'll chat on Wednesday. It's like, what the heck do you expect to be good this week at Aronimink um, Golf Club? He doesn't putt well in majors. He we can get in the short game, which is he's on pace for his second worst year as a pro around the greens, only outside of 2024. The short game was a disaster this week. I mean, the bunker play is just it's bad, and I don't like using the bunker save stacks. I think it's not. I don't know. Some of these stats we get, I think it doesn't interpret every shot the same. But I remember talking about the bunker save stat probably 5, 6 weeks ago. He's outside of the top 100, or at least he was. And this week there were numerous bad bunker shots played from spots where like I'm doing it on my story that I think are pretty playable.
Yeah.
Um, it's just not good. I'm trying to bring it up here, but it's just I he talked today, he sounds confident and I do like that. I do think I agree with you, Dan, in the optimistic sense of I think he feels it's not as bad as it looks, as you kind of like to say. But we need
Hmm.
results. Like, I mean, going into the PGA, I think I would sign for like a top 15 right now. Like we just need to get back in the saddle of playing some decent stuff. Um, and it's
Yeah.
just not been. He's 106th on tour and scrambling from the sand. Take that for what it's worth. But shout out to Evan, I think I brought this up a couple weeks ago. Shout out to Evan in our group chat. He's certainly not watching this podcast, but he's like, I think dating back to the Heritage, he said, guys, it really hasn't been good in a while, and it just hasn't. Like, there's been a lack of juice, and if you throw out a first round at the Cadillac, man, it's been ugly. I mean, he even with the take the whole week in Cadillac as a whole, and he's played what 6 of his last 8 rounds at average or below average.
Yeah.
Um, it's just not been good. Um, yeah, that's all I gotta say, Dan.
No, it's accurate. It's been below mid. It's been below average. It's been subpar uh in for the for anybody who's playing, but for the standards that he set for himself. Um and I think what's interesting to me about it all is that they're within this six of these last eight rounds, uh the driver has been the best it's been all year.
Of course,
And, and it's like, well, so now you're playing with one area that's been the best it's been all year, which tells you that the other part of the game is even worse now because your play and your results are worse when you're driving it better than you have all season. So, um, but to kind of go off that point, the uh, I think just for folks that are um maybe not as into it all the time. There was a ball change at the Cadillac, went to the left dash, which is a lower spinning ball. There was a head change at the Cadillac, I believe, for the three wooden driver. I believe that's right, playing a different model. And then this week at the Truist, there was I believe it was a lengthening of the shaft
yes.
of the driver. Um,
Thanks for
and a lengthening of the
thanks for
shaft.
expanding on that.
Yeah. And he wielded it very well this week. The ball speed was up in the low 180s relatively consistently. It was a lot of fades, which is fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with not really turning it over from right to left, but I mean, he drove it beautifully this week and gained. I don't know if you have the numbers in front of you, but I want to say he gained a shot around for the
Over a
tournament.
shot around,
Yeah, which
1.25.
I mean, that'll play, uh, you know, uh, anywhere on tour. And at a PGA championship, that's so critical because you know the rough's going to be up, and there's going to be just a huge advantage to being able to hit fairways. PGAs, you can shoot 6 or 7 under if you're hitting out of the middle of the fairway. Obviously, got to hit some good second shots into these greens, but you're giving yourself chances to do that. It's encouraging. And I think part of that too is like the iron play has been off. Um, and at least for me, and like, look, I'm a 10 handicap or whatever right now. But the driver swing and the iron swing are different. And it's tough to like, at least for me, it's tough to switch between them. And I'm not saying, look, I go to an office and I work from 8 to 5 every day. Like I'm not out at T Forest hitting balls. I'm not trying to make an excuse for Spieth to like
You don't have an instructor.
not be able to hit an iron shot after hitting a driver. But I do think there's some adjustment going on with a new driver and trying to adjust on the fly and keep all sort of parts of the swing compact, have the correct swing thought, the correct alignment. Um, and to your point kind of earlier about season's over, like he's not winning. From that respect, like, yeah, if you're making these changes in May, these are like October changes that you get drilled in come January when you go play Pebble, that you're feeling pretty locked in with your stuff for the year. And we're restarting the process here in May, which is fine. Can get hot with whatever, but um it wouldn't surprise me if now that he is feeling good about the driver, that the iron play starts to tighten up a little bit this week. I will note too, it also wouldn't surprise me if the driver disappeared, um, or was just like fine at the PGA. And I
Yep.
think that kind of goes back to the overall point, and he mentioned it in his press conference, like it is whack-a-mole. Like wouldn't he doesn't putt well in majors these days. And it wouldn't surprise me if the iron play and the short game were pretty solid, and he just can't quite find it off the tee and makes nothing. Like that wouldn't shock me at all. Um, but I guess if there's anything to be sort of positive about, it's thinking, all right, maybe we can carry some momentum with the driver. I mean, if he drives it the way he did last week here, like he's gonna have so many chances to score. And that's encouraging. It's progress. It's an area that has improved as the season has gone on, but it's funny how it's just come at the expense of other areas. Um, and just kind of speaks to or validates, I think, the frustration that a lot of Spieth fans have about this, and probably him. Like I'm sure he's frustrated with his results, and I'm sure McCormick is frustrated with the results, and I'm sure Greller is equally frustrated with the results
And
because
Greller's
they
injured.
know, yeah, they know. I mean, Greller is wearing out that right knee, man. We uh we got to get him up on his. I mean, Spieth's playing a lot of golf too, so um. That was a long winding thought there, but I guess the takeaway is the driver's been good. Who knows what it'll be next week, but maybe there can be something to lean on, something to kind of be a weapon, as he likes to say, something to attack with. And with another few days of prep, not having to hit a gajillion drivers, get fitted for drivers, the iron play can kind of find some form. I mean, it was only a month ago at Augusta. He was what, fifth on approach? I can't.
Best he's ever hit
I think, yeah, I find it hard to believe that
it.
um, he's so far removed from that a month ago. And I think it's just I want to say it's a pretty simple fix. I don't know what that fix is, but I want to say that it's so it wouldn't surprise me if something clicked a little bit and irons were hit better this week. But who knows? I guess that's just sort of the positive area, the positive amount of talking. Um, and we'll see what he can conjure up, but certainly not an inspiring T52 by any means.
No, a few more Spieth thoughts and we can move on. One, he's lost in three straight. Two of those efforts are just about at average, so they haven't been. I mean, this week was awful, but the Heritage and the Cadillac were just slight losses, pretty much average. So to your point, it might not be that far off. It's just when you do it 3 weeks in a row, it kind of pisses me off. Two, he's never ironed it. Like I don't know what the heck. It can't be an anomaly. He's never really ironed it well at Quail Hollow ever. Maybe it's just because the it's a lot of longer irons and he's always been a better wedge player. But he always drives it well at Quail Hollow. He's gained in 5 of 6 off the tee at Quail Hollow, and he's lost on approach in 4 of 6. I don't know what happens there, but it always goes south. Doesn't go well. I still don't think that means you shouldn't play it. Go play it and figure out how to play it. If you think you're a good golfer, you can go play at that golf course.
Yeah.
Um,
I will one quick note on that. I
yeah, go
think
ahead.
it's something about he's got courses where he just sees the like lines off the tee better than
Yeah.
others. Quail to me off the tee um, feels a little Augusta-y in some ways.
Same
Um,
part of the country.
little wider, but it's also just like the way the fairways are shaped. Uh, like they have some like kind of wavy curves to them on the edge. It's not kind of cookie cutter, straight up parallel lines. Um, so I think that makes some sense. And then this was kind of following up on your other point was point I was gonna get to in my tangent, but like he just doesn't play well there. I know he had a good P cup, but I mean let's he played with Thomas, who was coming off winning a major that year, even though he shouldn't have won it, but he still did. And um, the teams he played were like, come on.
I had a thought on that as well.
Like it's not like he played prime Tom Kim, or trying to think of any of the other good international players there. But I don't think Cam Davis had like more than a point all week, and he got him on the Sunday singles and made every putt. Um, so
Yeah, no, I agree.
I just think Quail is not his golf course, and that kind of adds to it and makes it worse. And then I'll throw in one more point too. Is like sometimes you need to dip below mediocrity to like really reevaluate some things, tweak something just a little bit, and then it goes back up. Like sometimes you have to go down to get a little momentum to climb that top hill, so to speak. Um, but I'll let you continue on your thoughts. Sorry about
Yeah,
that.
now you mentioned the President's Cup. I was going to mention. He went 5-0. My lasting impression of that event from covering it, he played fine. I don't think he played great at that President's Cup. He played a lot of bad teams, as you mentioned. I'm not taking anything away from him, but it is the President's Cup, not the Ryder Cup. Big difference. And yeah, I think my last thought, before I guess we can move on to maybe the rest of the tournament, have a few thoughts on that. people need to stop coming into my DMs or in our comments and calling us negative or me negative for not applauding a T12. Okay. That goes for the rest of the season. Maybe this week it'll be okay. But I am not going to be sitting on this podcast or sitting on my Instagram applauding, congratulating Team Spieth for T12s anymore. We're in May. We're not in February. The building of the season was in February. And most T12 weeks, I'm not going to be okay with at this point in the year. End of story. Again, maybe besides this week, I think if you T12s this week, it might be a different commentary. But if we're at the Open and it's a T12 or Colonial and it's a T12, it ain't moving the needle for me. But yeah, that's all I got on Spieth. Then I don't know if you had any other thoughts.
Well, I was say I don't think, the commentary after a T12 needs to be like negative, but it doesn't have to be glowing like it's a T12. It's fine.
Yeah,
It's not what you set out to do when you enter a golf tournament
no,
for a player of his caliber. And I know that it's like, well, maybe it is for a player of his caliber. I don't know. Maybe those
the good
expectations.
weeks might be T12s.
I mean, it's been 9 years and he's won twice. Like, it might just be kind of who he is. But no, I get it. I think he's so like I think everybody, not everybody, but all the fans obviously want him to be so, so good because he shows you that he can be. Ooh, I didn't get to the
Bless
mute.
you.
Apologies.
Been a while since we've had a podcast sneeze, I think.
A live sneeze. Yeah, my bad if I just blew your eardrums out. But and now I sneezed my thought out too. I don't know where I
Oh
was going.
no, that can happen.
Something about T12s, and them being fine. But yeah, some negativity, some people, trying to be more positive and uplift I don't know if uplifting is the right word, but just like taking it in full context. I can understand both sides. I think there's he gives you reason to want to believe. And you hear him, if you go listen to the interview, you hear him sit there and you're like, man, like, yeah, let's go do it. Like he's there, he knows how close he is. But then you actually watch the play and it's like, dude, you do some of the same mental lapses every week. Um, and it just gets frustrating listening to the so close all the time. So ultimately it's somewhere in the middle between so close and season over, I think. But it's certainly needs some momentum, and the Truist was a bad week, and that I think everybody can agree on that. Not a good week at the Truist.
No, no sugarcoating it. I want to be proven wrong. Prove to me, Jay Speed, that the season is not over and we're going to win a golf tournament this year. I did want to take a look at. Okay, yeah, that's not a very fair thought. I was looking. Yeah, I was going to say in 2017 he didn't win to the Travelers, but that's not true because he won at Pebble Beach. But he did go 4 months without winning in 17. But anyway, that's not a fair thought because I forgot he won at Pebble Beach that year. Um, Done with Spieth, Quail Hollow. It gets a lot of hate. I think it's a very good test of golf. Um, I don't think it's my favorite golf course to watch, but it's good. I think it gets overhated. I don't think it's great for a PGA. I don't love PGA I think we've had this discussion before, and we'll talk a little bit about it Wednesday night with Arana Mink having hosted the BMW in the past. But um, I don't know why the PGA of America feels the need to go to sites that have hosted tour events, but Quail Hollow I think is a good test of golf. I think 16 through 18, we see with our guy who I think made a bogey every single day in that stretch. It tests you, and then you get holes like 14 and 15 back to back where you can score. I think it gets overhated. I really do. And I'm going to keep on, banging the drum. if it's a signature event, I think Jordan should play it. You figure out a way to play well there. I'm happy he played it. I know it didn't go well, but that doesn't change my opinion. I don't think as a pro golfer you should ever run from challenges. But yeah, I don't know. You didn't get to watch a whole lot, Dan, but I know Bob was kind of crapping on Quail Hollow and it gets a lot of hate, but there's a lot of other courses I'd rather not watch over Quail Hollow, I think. I think it provides a good test of golf, in my opinion.
Yeah, I have no problems with Quail. It's one of the better ones on tour. Um, I don't, it's sort of like Torrey. I think it's fine. It's like good for an elevated event. I know Torrey now has all the history, right, of Tiger and Rahm and some of the kind of moments that occurred there. So it's going to continue to be a major championship venue. But Quail's a really, really good track. Uh, Challenges you in the right ways. I think the Green Mile is a good, fair test. Um, I wish it was firmer this week. I think I say that every week. I think the rain made it a little uh made it a little too, I don't know if easy is the right word, but I'm not really
Wasn't
trying
easier for Spieth.
yeah, I'm not really trying to see somebody win it at 15. Like I kind of want Quail to be more in that like 10, 11 range, but uh good tests. I think it's visually appealing on TV in some respects. The par threes are a little bland, but or at least 6 and 13 feel like the same hole to me. Um, but I think 7 and 8 are pretty cool. Like you said, 14, like having the par 5 seventh into the short 4 eighth and the short 4 14th into the par 5 15th. I think two spots in your round where you can kind of gain some momentum or get back into the round, but then you're met with the stern ninth, and then obviously 16, 17, 18. So, um, yeah, that was it. It was a good, it's a, I don't know if it's quite like a super fun watch, but I have respect for Quail Hollow.
Yeah, I think we'd even talk even more glowing about it if Jordan played well there. I assume Rory fans love it. Um, I know you mentioned earlier in the podcast, yeah, the scoring wasn't like I know 15 under won it, but pretty bunch leaderboard. Would have been a good opportunity for Jordan to post another good finish, which obviously didn't happen. Which sucked. I don't have a whole lot more though. I think we can triple double for the boys was a kind of a midweek. I mean, obviously with Riton winning, none of us had him. Um, for those that are just watching for the first time as well, welcome aboard. Triple double is our version of one and done, where each Bob's not here tonight. It says I'm Bob. My name's Jordan. If you are new, Bob is not with us. Dan's here. Triple double is our version of one and done. We each get three players every week, and we combine the some of the money they win for the week. Yeah, we each didn't. None of us had the winner. None of us had Riton. It's a so week. I had Cantlay and Thomas, which was pretty decent. Dan had Goddard was his leading golfer. Goddard 360K. I don't know what he finished, but it's probably like T15 ish. Um, and then Bob, who's not here with us tonight, had Ludwig, who was the highest finisher of the nine guys that the three of us picked. I think it was like a solo eighth or something. But yeah, looking at triple double, big week coming up for you, Dan, leading off at the PGA. Bob's got a what is that, $1.6 million cushion on me, and he's up about 3.6 on you. So a lot still to play for triple double. A lot of big events still to come, but we only have two more signature events, three majors, and the playoffs. We're just kind of getting going still at the same time.
Yeah, it is. I mean, we are. It's funny how we're over halfway in terms of total events, I think. But and over halfway for the SIGs, but still some big events. Three majors left. Like plenty to play for. I know there was a lot of I don't know if negative is quite the right word, but there's just some disappointment in how things have been going, but there's still a good kind of 8 to 10 weeks here to really turn the season around. Not an easy place to start at Aronimink, just given the state of the game, but you never know. There's a reason we keep turning on the ESPN Plus and firing up the Twitter and the Instagram and PGA Tour and the PGA Tour app. It's because when it is one day when it clicks, it's just gonna be fantastic. And you never know when that day is gonna be. So maybe we'll get a day or two this week. Who knows?
Yeah, it's well said. I don't I'm trying to think of anything other truest related
Shout
comments.
out.
Now, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say shout out to the Fowler camp. I know they didn't win, but that's fun. He was in contention. Could make a case, like I said, he could have, should have won, but I think he shot 74 day one and jumped right back into it with the round of the day on Friday. Kept pushing. Tough bogey on 18, missed the shorty on 16. But man, that T2 goes a long way. Pretty sure he's into the majors for the rest of the year. And he's just playing well, doing things the right way. I think got a little off trying to qualify for the Masters. I believe that player's Valspar or player's Houston stretch wasn't very good, but came back and um, played well at the Cadillac, I believe, and then uh, really, really well this week. So um, that's fun for
I
him.
just took a peek at Fowler's data golf ranking. Any guesses, Dan?
Um, shoot. I know one of the trackers does like the OWGR and the other rankings. I don't think they post data golf. I want to say he's inside the top 20 though.
12th.
12.
12th. He moved up 11 spots after the T2. Wild.
Yeah, that feels a little high to me. Um, that just feels a little,
I mean,
but
you look at some of the names under him, and it's like it's a very bunched up group.
I guess that's fair. It's sort of, you think of, there's really like four dudes that are really playing well, like really, really well.
Yeah, there's
Everybody else is
um
kind of good, but I mean, the last bunch of winners, if before Rayton, was Fitzpatrick, Rory, uh, just big names, and Scheffler's been solo second like 5 gajillion times this year. So it's, Scheffler, Cam Young, Scheffler, Young, Fitzpatrick, and McIlroy been the dudes.
it's
Last,
interesting if you look at the sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
oh, you're good.
I'm
I
looking
don't
at you mentioned four guys. I'm looking at the DG ranks right now. You have Scheffler at one with an index of 2.9, Rom at two, which
have.
you can do what you want with that.
We'll see how he
Um,
plays at the PGA.
with the 54 tour and how uncompetitive that is and his poor major success as of late. He's at 2-1. Cam Young, third at 207. Rory at 201. And then you mentioned it's only four guys, and it's like Fitz is down to 177. So about a quarter of a shot per round separates the top four from fifth. And who knows, Fitz might be fine, but it was an ugly showing from him at the Truist.
Yeah,
Match and Spieth at the 52. We'll see how he rebounds this week. But yeah, it's four or five dudes, as you said, and then everyone from about 12 to 35, 40 is a very similar type of player, it seems.
right. Just kind of bounces around depending on your results, which is why like be so nice to just turn in a result at the PGA. Um, so I think what we'll be striving for.
Yeah.
But we'll talk more about that on Wednesday probably, which is exciting.
Yeah, no, that's all I got. Boatload of stuff ready for the PGA. I didn't want to spill too many of the beans tonight, but yeah,
Yeah.
thanks for you guys tuning in for the Truist recap. We debated not having the recap tonight, I think, but I had a lot I wanted to get off my chest, some of the negativity stuff. Dan obviously a little bit more optimistic. I'm not. I said the season's over. By that I mean I just don't think he can win this year. Kind of what I'm seeing right now, but he's confident, and that means a whole lot more than whatever the hell my opinion is. So we'll be back Wednesday night. We'll chat PGA. Does he have a chance? Does he not have a chance? Who knows? But until then, Dan, I don't want to cut you off, but I think that's all we got.
Yeah, no, nothing else other than watch that interview, and you might have to dig for it a little bit. I don't think the PGA of America like put it out. It's some like random YouTube channel. So shout out to them for having the video because it's different than reading the transcript for sure.
Yeah.
Um, and I mean it's a lot of the same stuff, but kind of used to a lot of the same stuff around here, around these parts. So we'll see. If you're not excited, then I don't know what to tell you. I don't blame you, but that's the whole kind of point of it is to be excited, I think. So,
Yeah, I mean, we have a chance to make history regardless. Um,
exactly.
so yeah, as Dan said, watch the transcript, read the transcript, watch the YouTube video, whatever you choose. Tune in Wednesday night for the live preview from the boys. And yeah, we'll see you guys then.
Pumped. Peace.
Take care.